Hey guys, so I have an update on my bike situation. So I had recently posted a video about why I bought a Yamaha Bolt C-Spec bike. And this video is about why I sold my Yamaha Bolt after just 6 months. So I just really wanted to kind of explain like why the change of heart and is this really a good bike? And number one, yes, the Yamaha Bolt is absolutely a great bike. And the short answer as to why I sold it is because of ergonomics. So the Bolt, like I said, is still a great bike and I highly recommend it. And when I initially bought the bike, I thought that I could get used to the more forward and lower riding position than what I was used to in the past. And I figured that if I just gave it some more time and more practice and more miles on the bike, that I really would just get used to it. And unfortunately, after 6 months of riding the bike, I just couldn't get used to it. So I've always owned cruiser bikes, and a more upright seating position is really my preferred riding position. And I had brought the bike to a mechanic to inquire about risers or switching out the handlebars. And this is when I learned about the R-Spec model. So I have the C-Spec model, and the R-Spec model is actually a upgraded version of the C-Spec, and it has a more upright riding position. And basically the mechanic said that it would be more cost efficient for me if I sold my C-Spec bike and instead bought the R-Spec bike, because I am basically asking him to turn my C-Spec into an R-Spec. So I ended up not changing at the handlebars. So not wanting to do this, I actually decided to look for a new bike, and I bought a Triumph Street Scrambler. So when I was buying my new bike, and so I will do another video about the Triumph Street Scrambler, and also will do a review of it. The seller actually introduced me to cycle-ergo.com, which is an online ergonomic simulator, and you simply type in your height and the bike model you're interested in, and you can see a simulation of what the ergonomic riding position would be based on your height. So I'm going to kind of share some screenshots of what the riding position was for me on all four bikes that I've owned, starting with a Honda Rebel 250cc, then moving on to a Suzuki Boulevard S40, which was a 650cc, then to the Yamaha Bolt C-Spec, and then to the Triumph Street Scrambler. And so when you look at the riding positions, you can certainly see that the Yamaha Bolt C-Spec was definitely more forward and lower in comparison to what I was used to. And this is a great resource for anyone that is looking to purchase a different bike, because ergonomics are so important. And I know that every rider is going to have a different style and a different preference, and I really don't regret trying out the Yamaha Bolt for 6 months, because during that time I upgraded from a 650 to a 950cc, and I gained so much more confidence in myself as a rider. And now switching to a street scrambler, which is also 950cc, it really was an easy transition. And when I purchased the street scrambler, I actually bought it from somewhere who was in Pacific Beach, which is 70 miles away from where I live in Orange County. And this is the longest ride that I've ever done. I actually purchased the Yamaha Bolt also in San Diego, but it was much closer. And so riding back home for 70 miles, I really felt validated buying the new Street Scrambler, because the seating position was just so much more comfortable for me. And I really just see this entire situation as a learning experience. And it's kind of like a new pair of shoes. Like sometimes you can buy a new pair of shoes, and initially when you try them on, like maybe they don't fit quite right, but if you kind of break them in a little bit, then they're fine. And I feel like this is the same situation that happened with the Yamaha Bolt, where it didn't quite fit, but I loved the look and the style, and there were so many things that I really loved about this bike. But even after 6 months of riding it around, it's just something that I couldn't get used to. So like I mentioned, I don't want you to think that the Yamaha Bolt is not a good bike. It is a great bike. And if I could have done this over again or learning what I learned now, I certainly would have gone with the R-Spec model instead of the C-Spec one. And instead, just a great deal came across where I was able to get the Triumph bike. And so I've been riding that around and I've been really enjoying it. And it's also because of the seating position. So that's an update on why I don't have the Bolt anymore. But again, was certainly a great bike, and that's what this is all about. And this is what this YouTube channel is about. It's just about my journey and about all of the adventures that I go on with whatever bike I have. So I now have had 4 bikes. I only have 1 bike now, so I sold the Yamaha Bolt. But I'm just loving and enjoying the journey, and I just want to thank all of you for being on this journey with me. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later.